Hello. It's nice to see you. We're right on 5 o'clock. I'll give it just a couple of moments for you to get settled. Just starting to see a few of you pop on now. All right. So, welcome. It's nice to virtually see you. My name is Karina, and I am super happy to share a little bit of time and a little bit of space with you on the whole health project. This is quite obviously being streamed live now, but you'll also be able to watch this again down the track at any time you choose. It will remain up on the group for all time. If you feel inspired to, I've added a PayPal link in the description for the video. You can donate to it if you would like. Something super small, like $5 would be more than enough. And that said, if donating is not on the cards for you at the moment for whatever reason, that's totally okay. I wholeheartedly believe that your presence here is enough. So, if we get into it, yoga has a really interesting relationship with joy. I think mostly we think of joy as something that arises in response to something nice outside of us. So maybe that is a beautiful sunset on a beach in Bali. Maybe it's time with somebody that we love, or whatever it happens to be for each of us. And yoga actually says that's not true. Joy doesn't come from outside of us. If it did come from something outside of us, we'd be able to derive joy in our things. And of course, we can't. So that joy that we feel in the face of a sunset or hanging out with that person that we love is really just a catalyst for something that is already inside of us. What yoga would say is that joy is the unfiltered experience of our true nature. And it would say that it arises whenever we have a true moment of not wanting. So the meditation that we'll do today is one of my all-time favorite meditations. And it works in exactly the same way as a sunset or somebody that you love, in that it too can act as a catalyst for that experience of joy that's within even when we're not present enough to notice it. So the way that we'll kind of begin this process is through something that will look a lot like a pranayama technique, but it's actually technically an energy collection technique. So we'll use the medium of the breath to start building or collecting energy and awareness in the midbrain. And it will be inside that sphere of energy and awareness that will begin the meditation. So just take a few moments now to find your own meditation seat. I happen to be sitting on a chair right now because that's what's close to my computer, but for you it might be something like a cushion on the floor. Whatever is going to work, whatever is going to be comfortable for the next 15 minutes or so, that will allow you to have a straight spine, and that's about it. So do that, take a few seconds, get rid of any fidgets, adjustments, scratches, and then once you've done that, close your eyes and we'll begin. I'll close my eyes with you and we'll share this experience. Let's begin by becoming aware of your breath, particularly the sensation of the breath at the tips of your two nostrils. And each time you inhale, follow that sensation in two streams from your nostril tips up to a single point in your midbrain. And exhale from the midbrain down in two streams to the nostril tips. Inhale from nostril tips to midbrain. Exhale from midbrain to nostril tips. Just keep going like this at your own pace. Notice in particular that your breath has a sensation or a texture that you follow along the nasal passage as you breathe. Also notice that your breath has a temperature, which is a little cooler on the way in and warmer on the way out. And then as your awareness becomes more sensitive, you may even be able to detect the breaths very subtle in a sound like a whisper. Finally, you'll notice that there's a very subtle quality of energy or awareness that's riding the wave of your breath. And each time you inhale, that energy and awareness starts to gather or collect at a single point in the midbrain. Notice that energy is gathering there because it might have a little vibration. You might even experience it as luminosity or inner light. Take a couple more breaths like this. Let go of your awareness of the breath. Just rest your attention in the midbrain, in that sphere of light, energy, awareness that you've created. Inside of that sphere, that will begin the meditation with a contemplation. Let's take a moment now to call to mind whatever it is that is usually a catalyst for an experience of joy for you. Doesn't matter what it is, it will be different for everybody. Let's take a moment to call that to mind now. And shift your attention so it's not on the thing itself, but on the experience of joy that it gives rise to. Really feel that feeling. Give it as much color and texture as you can. So that this moment really becomes infused with it. Very slowly start to draw that light and that feeling downwards towards the center of the chest, where the spiritual heart is. And as you draw it down to that single point, it becomes very, very condensed. You might experience that as a very, very small flame, or maybe as a bright and luminous pearl. Notice that each time you inhale, the light from that light source and the feeling that it contains expands outwards to fill your whole chest. And then as you exhale, the light and that feeling return to their source in the heart. Inhale the light and that feeling expand. Exhale, they return to their source. Just keep going like this. Over time, you'll find that the breath naturally just wants to fall away, become quite subtle. Don't force it, but allow it to happen naturally when it's ready. Notice that as the breath becomes still, the mind becomes very still as well. And as the mind becomes still, it's drawn into the center of the heart, to the center of that light source. As you're drawn into that light source, you notice that that light now consumes everything around you. You, as the source of that light, have an experience of Ananda Shakti, an experience that all of your soul's desires have been fulfilled. Just rest in that feeling now. And rest there with the understanding that the place that you're now in is your Vishok Jyotir, your indwelling source of contentment, your reservoir of inner joy, the place where your awareness is at its most luminous. Slowly allow your breath to become deeper. Stay connected to that feeling. And at the moment of your choosing, knowing that you can take your time, open your eyes. So, I don't want to say too much at the end of a meditation, except thank you for joining me and see some of your comments. I've seen some of you pop up. Makes me super happy to see you. Feel free to leave some comments in the comment section or leave me questions if you have any. And also in the description for this video is a little information about where you can contact me down the line if you choose. Have a beautiful morning or evening or day wherever you are, and I will see you on the flip side. Bye.